podcast. She flies by her own wings. And the podcast is specifically based on a book. It's out on the market. Please go get you one. The book is titled We Won't Be Silenced: Inconceivable Tales of Narcissistic Abuse, a case study in a therapist's perspective. This book is dedicated to all victims, regardless of gender. I want to start there. Regardless of gender, may your voices never be silent. The journey from being a victim to becoming a warrior begins with speaking out. And I often tell my clients, the importance of breaking the silence, because there is no healing, or there is minimal healing in silence. What we find in silence is often the feeling of isolation, loneliness, a lot of pain and suffering, a lot of despair, hopelessness. Sometimes I have clients that describe it as just being in a dark hole, or being in some sort of tunnel, like a dark tunnel with no light at the end of it. And it comes with a lot of suicidality, suicidal ideation, and suicidal actually planning, some people executing. So remember, you're not alone, and you never have to do this alone. So what made this book stand out? I tell people I'm a school rat. A lot of people that knows me, I love to read, and I read so many books. I'm usually surrounded by books. I'm a geek, okay? I read a lot about trauma. I read a lot about narcissistic abuse. I read a lot about healing and recovery, because it's part of what I do, and I do work a lot with victims, survivors, and warriors, advocate, and whatnot. And this book is one of a kind, because it starts with what we find in other books, which is a comprehensive definition of narcissistic abuse and its key characteristics. The book provides readers with a really in-depth understanding of this very kind of misunderstood subject. So I'm not going to read everything, because otherwise, what's the point? You need to go get the book. We're going to start with a metaphor, on TikTok from Dr. Dervasola. And she illustrated in such a very lovely way. So for visual people, she says that a narcissist is like a volcano with bubbling lava. And the lava for a narcissist is shame and insecurities. They want to plug the lava, and they do so with grandiosity, the entitlement, the arrogance, and selfishness. With the belief almost like I am perfect, I am great. It keeps all of that stuff covered. Every often in life, something is going to push the lid off. And it's not if, it's a when. It's just a matter of time. It might be feedback, it might be criticism, someone ending a relationship, getting stuck in traffic, or not getting what they want, and the lava starts spilling over. And the lava is the rage and anger, because the shame and the insecurities have been triggered. Sometimes it is unconscious, because there are survival responses, the survival mechanisms. Sometimes it's not, and they show up through manipulation and validation of other, minimization of other person's experience, gaslighting, rage, future faking, which also known as, making promises made and broken, blame shifting, avoiding responsibilities, deceit, betrayal, lying, neglect. Over time, they give less and less in the relationship. So everything in a relationship is about meeting the need for validation and supply. This is what being in a relationship with a narcissist is about, or someone with narcissistic traits. Something else that makes this book stand out, because it talks about the impact of narcissistic abuse through a really in-depth case study. It unfolds a very captivating story. Readers will engage with the profound emotions and challenges faced by a survivor and also a warrior, tracing her experiences of manipulation, of gaslighting, and emotional turmoil linked to narcissistic abuse, all while highlighting her strength. We're going to look into the strength, we're going to look into her resilience, and of course, we're going to look into her journey towards healing and recovery. And then, of course, we're going to talk about the famous trauma bonding. We all talk about this, trauma bond, and specifically, I'm going to go in depth to address, in the book, you'll find this to address the 7 stages of trauma bonding, where, of course, it starts with a love bombing, and then it goes towards the trust and dependence. Eventually, we go to criticism and devaluation, manipulation and gaslighting, resignation and acceptance. We have the loss of identity, emotional dependence. The last one, of course, stage 7, which is the emotional dependency on the trauma bond cycle. So the book also provides reflective questions in a very holistic way, right? Because a lot of reflective questions tend to engage the cognitive aspect I want us not only to look into the cognitive aspect, I want us to go into the body, right? We want to reflect on how we feel, our emotions, sensations, and all of that. So, all of this to help readers enhance their awareness, particularly to those who might be in an abusive relationship. Number 5 is the book includes dating tips, because we know dating out there is very special nowadays. It comes with it. I see like a lot of my clients come in for dating related issues. It triggers a lot of emotion. So I was like, I might as well include dating tips, things that will save you a lot of headache and heartbreak, practical strategies and techniques designed to help individuals break free from trauma bonds, and also to help people cultivate resilience while emphasizing the importance of really seeking professional help. You can't do it alone. And it's not just about professional help indeed, but I really believe in the concept of it really does take a community, right? And you're going to see this through Evie's story. I call them warrior sisters. It takes a whole community for us to be able to get up and to keep pushing forward. So finally, of course, we're going to have the therapist perspective, moi, which to offer essential insight into the healing possibilities that arise from addressing this issue openly. So the saga began, the inflated honeymoon phase. So just a bit of the background information. The story is based on a true story. And then yet I had to change a few things to protect people's privacy and confidentiality, because there's no therapy, there's no therapy without confidentiality and privacy. So I changed the age, I changed a few things, just like as I mentioned, to protect people. So Evie is a 30-year-old psychologist, and she's a single mother of a 6-year-old daughter. And then we have Liam, aged 34. He's a consultant, and he has a 9-year-old daughter. So I thought maybe what would be the best place to start? I thought the best place to start, I meet people from different stages in the therapeutic process. Sometimes I meet people where they're not even aware that they are in a narcissistic, abusive relationship. And sometimes when their eyes open, when people's eyes open, they frequently ponder, why me? Like people will look at me and say, Ines, why did this happen to me? Why me? Right? And it comes with a lot. It's a question that is loaded. It comes with a lot of sadness, a lot of grief, a lot of heartbreak. And they might question their strength, reflecting on their perceived foolishness, for finding themselves in such a circumstance, leading to self-blame. It could lead to shame. It could lead to harsh self-criticism. And so I thought this would be the best place to start is to help you answer this question of why me, right? So the profound shock and disbelief that frequently arise upon recognizing that one is or was in a relationship characterized by narcissistic abuse can be profoundly unsettling and confusing. Many individuals struggle to grasp the extent of the toxicity that they have endured, particularly when the abuse have developed slowly, masked by expressions of love, care, and affection. This is something that it needs to be clear. Anyone can be a victim of narcissistic abuse. And this is why I wanted to talk about Evie, because Evie is a psychologist, and I have to say she is good in what she does. This is her calling, and I've seen her in action. She is fantastic. So it can happen to anybody, regardless of your gender, regardless of your age, regardless of your background, your profession, personal characteristics, socioeconomic status. Anyone can be a victim. At the same time, because we want to talk about hope and resilience, there are certain things that we can engage in to be able to help to protect ourselves. Just because anyone can be a victim, it does not mean that it can happen to anybody, because there are certain things that we can put in place to protect ourselves.